Well, just about 2 days ago was March 6th, and I just became a year older. I went from almost 25 to 25 years of age. This is when your brain begins to become fully developed. Now, what I would like to say, based on certain development that has happened recently, and I do believe you become wiser. It's not merely that when you're 25, it's not like you're as wise as possible. It just means that your brain has full capacity, right? As I've been getting older, I've been feeling that a lot of the sort of nonsense that I used to think was entertaining, I no longer find really that amusing. One person, who isn't, there was the John St. Julian Baba Wayanama guy that I talked about before, and I talked about why his teachings were not really. They might have had definitely good things in them, but there were definitely certain things in them that were not really good for the world as a whole and didn't really add much true spiritual growth to the world. A person who recommended these channels, who I am beginning to feel a little bit similar about, is this YouTuber called trebor7. Now, he is a YouTuber who performs telekinesis. He has moved certain things on camera and focus, and he's learned how to focus his energy on an object, so that if he uses energy and basically knocks it over. He also happens to believe that the world is flat. And this is not, contrary to what a lot of people might believe, not a very spiritual teaching, because anyone who is of any advancement whatsoever, including and this is one to really kind of to take home with, is this man named Grandmaster Wolf, who has had many out-of-body experiences, and a lot of times when you go outside the body and you go to another realm, at first the atmosphere kind of looks flat, but then as you walk out, you begin to notice that it isn't. It's a curved area. He has acknowledged life on other planets. He has acknowledged many things, and I believe knows certain things that Trebor7 does not. This idea of a flat Earth is not very occultic. It's not grounded in the occult science. There are certain occult sciences, occult pseudoscientists, scientists that try to claim that the flat Earth is a spiritual teaching, but the Sumerians knew better. Many of the ancient Greeks knew better, and many ancient civilizations knew better. And if you study, even if you study Hebrew, if you go to Jeff Benner's, ancient Hebrew research, he has explained that the word ha'arath, which he would pronounce ha'aretz, literally is related to the word plate. And we know continents are plates, right? They're plates on the water, on the earth. This guy Trebor 7, he does teach a lot of things that are quite interesting. He teaches that we can, develop certain abilities like telekinesis and electrokinesis and telepathy and stuff like this. I must say, though, that his abilities are not very impressive, especially compared to certain true masters like Grandmaster Wolf. And the reason why I bring this up is not because I think that he needs to be trying extra hard or anything like that, or that he needs to up his game of telekinesis and try to improve it or anything like that. The reason that I have actually considered unsubscribing from this guy is that his method of telekinesis uses a lot of spiritual energy. And if you know anything about what I believe, and if you know anything about the Aetherius Society and George King and many of the ancient yogis that taught about energy work, is that the world lacks a lot of energy as a whole. We are told to save this energy, to transmute it, to send it up, through the spine, if possible, through the back of the spine, in a very controlled manner, as a means to send out to the world, as a means to heal people, as a means to make the world a better place. Send out the energy to the Mother Earth, and she sends energy back. You send out energy to the sun sends energy back. The universe sends back energy that you send out, basically. You send it out, whatever ratio of energy you send out, that ratio relative to that being will come back to you in some form. That's the reason why the 12 blessings is so powerful. But yeah, all this talk about flat Earth and all this talk about, this guy, he thinks he's enlightening people, but I really don't think he is. There are certain abilities that I do believe that you can achieve, and I believe you can achieve true telekinesis. But I think what Trebor 7 is really performing is just merely a form of energy release, where you just release tons of energy to move an object, basically. It's not quite the same as, when you have your energy raised to a higher center. You can't raise the energy completely to a higher center, or otherwise you'd become immobile. You would enter samadhi. But you have to raise a certain amount of the energy up the spine, into the psychic centers. And you have to become one with the object in order to develop true psychokinesis, where you can just levitate things and you can, blow mountains in half and do all kinds of dangerous things. You would have to ascend in order to do it. And in some sense, we do need to learn these abilities, but we're not trying to learn to have superpowers, oddly enough, in order to use them, but rather so that largely we don't use them unless it is according to the law of karma, and we instead use that energy to raise up into the Christ chakra for spiritual inspiration and true evolution, as it were, true spiritual evolution, in order to help the world like Jesus did. And that's just a thought I've been having. I've been getting into NoFap. I got a treadmill for my birthday, so my fat ass might become non-existent, in a couple months if I get working on that every day. And things are just changing. I'm beginning to become more mature and a lot more serious-minded about a lot of the stuff that I believe in. I'm starting to, not be. I'm not saying I won't troll ever, but I'm feeling it less and less. I'm growing up. I'm kind of waking up and becoming my true self. And, if I change my mind, I'll say something about it, but it's really all I had to say.